when you get involved in the actual transaction, is there, at the end of the day, is there a final sheet or agreement that dictates, how everything is being allocated in terms of here's the sale price and this is being allocated to Blue Sky, this is being allocated to intangibles? I mean, can you kind of lead us through that process a bit?
Sure. We have a whole workbook that's going to spell out every piece of the dealership transaction. So we'll have obviously a line for what the Blue Sky Goodwill purchase amount is, but there'll be a whole page in the workbook for nothing but the new car inventory. And if there's multiple franchises involved, each one will have its own sheet listing out every individual car with the dealer's cost, less holdback, less floor plan assistance, less co-op advertising funds, whatever other credits there might be. If there's any additions, if we have any cars on the showroom with some accessories have been added on, we're going to capture that for the seller as well. We'll have separate tabs for work in process. If I am on whichever side I'm on, I'm going to verify with the service department that all of these cars that are under process still are literally here on the lot. Why are they here still? Why haven't they been completed? So I can answer these questions for the buyer when they say, why is this $2,000 car job still open from 3 months ago? I can explain that. Oftentimes it'll be defined in the terms of the APA what has to be purchased on a work in process. But sometimes there's a legitimate reason. I mean, we've been coming out of this inventory crisis and not only in vehicles, but also in parts availability. So
Right.
we've had some, especially Hyundai recalls, that there have been cars on the lot needing parts for a year, I've seen. So it's a good understanding of all the functionalities of the dealership. I can explain, not only detail it in these spreadsheets and these workbooks so everybody can see literally dollar for dollar how we came up to this final figure, but I'm also verifying that it's accurate and that this is a legitimate part of the purchase agreement. And it helps the accounting side if I'm not preparing the journal entry to record the sale or the purchase, whichever side it may be. This is a good tool to help the accounting staff who will be creating that journal entry to add your new inventory to your books or to sell it all off if you're closing the dealership.
Yeah, and one of the things I find too is sometimes I'll get provided transactional documents after the fact, and we'll look to see how things were set up on the company's books and records, and you'll see that, part of the consulting agreement that was entered into never made its way into the underlying books and records, and you're scratching your head a bit wondering what happened. But if everything doesn't get reconciled pretty much at the time of closing, I think that the farther you get away from that, the harder it is to go back and piece together the records because, as to your point earlier, I mean, the buyer's keeping certain records, the seller's keeping certain records, and it's hard to piece everything back together at a later point in time. Yeah, so it's again, I just find it's so interesting that although we're coming at things from different perspectives, we're encountering the same sorts of issues.